Ketocajunangel, and today is, what is today? The 9th, July 9th. Wow, where has the year gone? We're like at the halfway mark. Before you know it, Christmas will be here. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and tell you guys that I know I haven't been on here since around the 1st of June because we started our summer reading program, and I've been very, very busy with that. And that being said, I just have been thinking about it a lot, thinking, Gina, you've got to stop and just, even if it's a quick video, just do it and post it. I've weighed a couple of times. I don't even know where to start. I have put on a few pounds. I got on a kick where I like plums, and I know that's not on keto. And I've tried to stay keto. I have not really been very good at it. I wish I had somebody, an accountability person that was here and that would remind me to stay on track. I have always had issues with food being comfort for me if something upset me or if I got stressed out. And I used to, when I was younger, I could get a grip on it and get back on track, you know, on a diet or eating right. I have been drinking water the past couple of days because I kind of got off track and was drinking green soda, and some of them were not diet. That's not a good thing to get started again, so I put them down, gave them to my son, and now the water's in here. I do have some mayo, orange vanilla, that every once in a while I'll squirt in my water just if I need a little different flavor. What else can I tell you? Oh, okay, so in June we had a lot of events, crafts, offers, summer reading program, so that's kept me busy. Last Monday or Tuesday, we had major thunderstorms come through here. I was able to make it to work on Tuesday, but again, another storm came through on Tuesday night, and it was worse than the one on Monday. And it was so bad, we got rain so fast that all these little roads, and even in town, got flooded. Our Berkshire's parking lot was flooded. All the businesses around there had probably about a foot of water coming into their businesses. It was just really bad. And I left that morning thinking, oh, it was just a little rainstorm, you know. It was scary because the thunder rolled and it sounded like a train, so it was very nerve-wracking. But turned out there was a few trees down, but I couldn't even get off our road on Wednesday the 24th. There was so much water, and I will put 2 little videos that I shot. Well, I'm gonna have to turn around because this part of Richardson Loop is flooded really bad. The water is swiftly going over the road, so I'm gonna have to turn around and go the long way. Even this way is flooded. I'm turning around and going back home for a while. You can see way down there, look at that. See that white water? It's just both ways getting out of Richardson Loop is bad. I've seen big pieces of wood coming across here. It doesn't look very deep, but my little car, it could move my little car, or I could stall out. this end, which was really bad. It was about 2 or 3 feet above the road, and it was just coming over. And it looked like a waterfall on the other side. I bet if I was standing way over here, it would have looked like a waterfall. It was so strong, and I thought, nope, my little car will not go through that. I will end up floating off down that creek, and not a good thing. So I believe in that turn around, don't drown. So I thought, well, I'll just go to the other end of our loop, and maybe I can get to the main road. Got down there. Before I even got to the main bridge down on our road, which they had at one time reconstructed and brought it up so it wouldn't flood, it was close to being flooded because I could see it. But before I could even get there, there was a low-lying area, and it had about 2 to 3 inches of water coming over. And it was going fast because I saw a tree limb, that had fallen off of a tree, go scooting across the road over to the creek over here. And I said, well, nope, turn around, don't drown. When I got home, I called, talked to my boss, told her I can't make it in. There's just no way my little car will get swept right off the road. So I said, I'll just wait a while, and then maybe it'll recede, and then I can get to work. Well, around 12 or 12:30, the sun came out, and I truly was gonna, I got ready, and I called, and I said, hey, I'm gonna come to work. And my coworker said, oh, okay, we'll see you when you get here. And then I could hear somebody in the background, and she goes, oh, wait, Gina. And I had already, as I was hanging up, and then she called me right back and said, don't come in. There's a lot of roads, main roads, that are being closed down. And you need to just stay home. More than likely, I probably would have got down there and wouldn't have been able to get through anyway, because we had so much water, it took a long time, and all that runs into our lake. All these creeks and bayous and everything runs into the main lake over here. So the main lake was flooded, and they closed the lake where you couldn't even put your boat in, which we weren't going to do that, but a lot of people got upset. And the main reason was, when you're riding around in a boat and you're making waves, it's going to tear up against people's wall, their little, whatever you call it, the little wall that keeps the water out. Most people's yards, it was already above that. So it would just tear down the lake sides. So, not to mention all the things that were floating around in the lake, and some things that were just under the water that you couldn't see. You could tear up your boat real easily. So they kept the lake closed, and here we had 4th of July coming up, and people love to go out at the lake at 4th of July because they have a big 4th of July fireworks show, and a lot of the boats go out there by the dam and sit so they can get a good sight on the fireworks. And then over at another place on the other side of the lake, they have a huge party. They have games for the kids, face painting, lots of food. I think they were having a cornhole tournament. There was just a lot of things that were going to be going on July 4th. Which, Ricky and I opted to stay home because we got everything done on our pool. All our hoses were great. The skimmer was working because I had to replace that. We stayed, I had Friday off, the 3rd, and Saturday the 4th, and so we basically stayed in the pool. I came home Thursday night and we got in the pool, and then got out, around 7, and then was in the pool by 9 o'clock in the morning. I think it was around 9. And we stayed in there. We got out as we didn't have breakfast. I mean, we had brunch because it was like 12 noon when we ate. We got out of the pool and ate. And then we didn't have dinner. And it was a light dinner that night because we were expecting storms. But they didn't come in until like late that night. So it got pretty scary. And that was on Monday night. But then, of course, on Tuesday night, we had worse storms than Monday night. So, but anyway, let me go back to Friday. So, Friday, no big deal. Saturday, we got in the pool about 9:30, I think. Got out, fixed breakfast, eggs and sausage, I think is what we had. And we swam. Or when I say swim, we're not swimming around. I did do water aerobics. I have these little weight things, and I put on a belt where it kind of lifts me up out of the water, where I can do bicycling and leg exercises. So I did do that too. We had music playing, and that was a lot of fun. Then later in the afternoon on Saturday, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I was looking up at the clouds, and I said, where did these clouds come from? I mean, they just rolled in, and the wind picked up, and I said, I think we're fixing to get a storm. We need to get out of the pool, because I started seeing lightning, and I was like, anytime I see lightning, we're out. So we got out of the pool and just called it a night. I went in and started watching, a movie, and it blew through. It was pretty bad, pretty windy, and then it was gone by 7. Blew in at 5, gone by 7. And I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to have a fireworks show, and come to find out, they were able to have a fireworks show, and earlier that week, they were able to open up the lake because the flood zone got down below they have a limit when they close down the lake, and it got pretty good low on that, so that people were able to go back out at 7 and get out there and get somewhere where they could see the fireworks show. The fireworks show, I think, was delayed about 30 minutes. Didn't start till 10. It was supposed to start in between 9 and 9:30. So it was a pretty decent weekend. Sunday, we spent all day in the pool. It was great. Monday came along, my alarm's going off, and I'm going, no, I'd rather go get in the pool. But had to get up and go to work. Had to do a live drawing, because we do live drawings each week. And so me and my puppet get together and pull a name out of the names of kids that turned in their reading logs each week. So it was that one was a good one. I have a lot of fun doing that. But anyway, that being said, today's Thursday, and I just had to take my son home because they got off work early. So that means when I get off work this afternoon, I get to get off work and go home on time. Yay! I went and got gas. I need to stop and get someone to air up my tires. But I got my husband this thing from Amazon. It's got a light, and it does like a bright light, and you can dim it down, or a red light, a red blinking light, and a red and white blinking. So it's best to have it in your car, and it has the ability, you charge it up, it has the ability, if your car dies, you can put it up to your battery and give your car a jump to start your car, which I think is really cool. I bought that for him. He's already used it just about every night. I said, I think I need to get me one. And it has a thing, attachment where you can attach it and you can air up your tires. And I've got one tire blinking at me that it needs some air. It always does that when it gets hot. If it gets cold and it gets hot, I always have one tire that, you know, it's blinking. So I do need to get that, you know, aired up to where they're all matching. But anyway, I'm almost to work, and I think, just to let you know, I have weighed, this morning I weighed 208.1. Does not make me happy because at one point I was down to 195. That's been months and months back. And so I am determined to get back down. And one of the sessions that I did with the kiddos was called cardio drumming. So just watch for the cardio drumming. I did put out a YouTube video on how to cut your noodle. So you have 2 drumming noodles, and we just set it up in our meeting room, and I had tables. The kids, I had cut a bunch of noodles, and they each had noodles to drum, and they were drumming on the tables. And I just can't put the pictures of the parents and the kids that did it, because, you know, this is a public YouTube channel. I could, when we filmed it, I had it focusing just on me, and I will put that out there so you can see. It was 20 minutes long. It was a lot of oldie songs and a lot of bouncing and jumping and drumming, and it was a lot of fun. And I plan on doing that more often, but I may just do one song at a time when I film it. So, but anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. And if you mess up on your keto, just turn around and start over. Don't beat yourself up. Just pick yourself back up and start doing what you know works. And that's the thing. So just know I love you guys. Bye. Oh yeah, I don't have any makeup on today. I just wasn't feeling it. So, but anyway, I love you guys. Bye. Mwah.